So, do you want to have sex now?
That is such a robotic way to ask that.
What do you mean?
There are ways to convey with body language that you want sex without having to say it outright. My partner wants me to talk dirty to her to get her in the mood, but I can't think of anything at all. My mind goes completely blank and I have got no idea where to start. I feel like I have no fantasies, I just enjoy a good, naked body and touching it.
I have trouble with this as well. It's hard for me to take it seriously. I usually end up making a joke or laughing at something.
Yeah, I didn't get into sex because I wanted to be an actor. I just wanted to have sex.
Hell, just the sensory processing issues alone are a lot. Sound, sight, peripheral vision, vestibular, touch, heat, humidity, texture, speed of movement, internal functions, pressure, tickle, itch.
This is, honest to God, how I ended up researching presentations of autism within women. I thought that because I used sarcasm, had a job, even though I've had 12 of them thus far, paid my rent and lived life up until this point without being diagnosed, there was no chance I had autism. Very ignorant of me in hindsight. Like, I asked boyfriend last night if he wanted to have sex, but instead of having sex we ended up discussing what physical cues of wanting to have sex could look like, as I really don't understand how to interpret them. For example, does kissing always lead to sex? Obviously not. So how am I supposed to know when sex is wanted when you can do sexual things for a while without having to want actual sex, like kissing and touching? So because I don't know how to read those things, I just ask if you'd like to have sex, as it's straight to the point and avoids confusion. But apparently there are ways to do that with body language which I find to be too confusing and stressful. My younger brother is even diagnosed with autism, which made me believe even more so that it wasn't a possibility because we act and talk a lot differently. But I will say there is a 9-year age gap between us. But I fell so deeply within the r/SexOnTheSpectrum and r/autism in women subreddits that I thought that I surely cannot be relating this hard for absolutely nothing. So I did research every day, watching videos from autistic creators on the subject, reading the DSM-5, taking autism screeners online, and of course I browsed the subreddits all the time, up until I eventually told my GP about my suspicions and got assessed and diagnosed at the end of last year. It was a huge relief to be able to look back at my life retrospectively and realise all the things I gave myself grief for when I was younger that could be kindly explained by my neurological differences. Times where I shut down and I didn't know why. There were times I would sort of thrash around in my bed to the point of it looking externally like a seizure, but in reality it was some sort of mixture of a meltdown with catatonia due to high stress levels. I'm not sure if anybody knows what I mean by that. It seems like a very unique to me experience, but I highly doubt it. Why I always kept my room dark even though my mother would moan about it for some reason, and probably why many peers couldn't or wouldn't want to accept me as a child. I tried so hard to fit into groups when I was becoming a teenager, but was excluded by being called a tag-along on one occasion, or was just asked outright to go elsewhere when I tried to join in with a group of girls in another. All the times I laughed at jokes I didn't find funny to fit in, or even say things that I didn't understand but thought would get a positive reaction out of people. It all made sense. Now that I know I'm autistic, I'm trying my hardest to unmask and accommodate for myself. This means that I try not to force myself to laugh if I don't find something funny. I wear sunglasses and earplugs everywhere, most of the time. I don't say yes to socialising if I'm too tired. I don't try and change my tone of voice when I don't have to, or even my facial expressions if I don't have to. I can be quite animated when I'm happy and comfortable, but if I'm not, there's no need to force it. On the opposite end of that, if I want to be animated and stim in public or at work, I let myself do so, as long as it's not disruptive, like I wouldn't do jumping jacks at a concert, for example. The biggest accommodation I'm making for myself is choosing to go from full-time to part-time work. Burnout is unsustainable, and I'll stay in burnout unless I remove how much work I have to do, so I'm removing how much work I have to do. This will allow me to be so much healthier in mind and body and give me back energy that can be devoted to things that actually fuel my soul, like art, gaming, and making these videos. It's certainly quite strange to be suddenly diagnosed with a I can never say this fucking word. A neurodevelopmental condition close to my mid-20s. It makes me wonder how I went all these years without ever considering it, partially because I thought way more people experienced their internal world like I did, and partially because I'm pretty sure I got it from my parents, but especially my mom, and upon reflecting on their behaviour, Yeah. They do say it's hereditary after all.